Getting hair transplants.
Yeah, I actually met with the doctor the other day. He quoted me $15,000 for the surgery, except here's the kicker. They keep calling me when the office is slow, and they say they'll take off $4,000 if I come down right now. And I go, come down now for surgery? I'm at Whole Foods.
And we're back. Oh yeah, baby. Darren Carter, the party starter. Sad, right? My own sound effects, my own light. Here I am in this log cabin by myself starting a party of one. We have a great episode. Today, our guest is Dr. Dean. Dr. Dean has great stories. I call him podcast gold. Today, I said, come on, let's tell your Mike Tyson story. And then it led into way more than that. He's great, man. This guy's really, really good. He's got the gift of gab. He's got a golden throat and great advice. He's a smart man. He's a doctor. Dr. Dean. Dr. Dean, he's a chiropractor. That's just that. But yeah, so, he gets those medical journals and he reads them and he passes along information. So it was a great episode. This guy is one of the guys that I know that has a six-pack and he's in his 50s. Almost going to be in his 60s. And you're going to see, some great things about how you too can get a six-pack. And check out the link in the video. There's a link in the video. It's on my YouTube channel. We filmed it about a year ago. And he gives great advice about how to get that six-pack going. And also how to fight the COVID. So you want to fight the COVID, get the six-pack, and be entertained all along at the same time. So thank you guys for checking out the Pocket Party Podcast. Let's get into it right here, right now. Yeah.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to a pocket party.
There he is. This is him, man. Dean Larrett.
Pocket party.
Yeah. This is his night, man. He does this. He walks around lifting weights. This guy's a night owl, the wealthy bachelor. And we're back. Hey, everybody. It's Darren Carter, the party starter, and we have on the phone Dr. Dean Larrett. How are you, Dr. Dean?
Hey, Darren, man. Long time, man. Long time coming. And first off, I want to apologize because I really, for lack of a better expression, yanked your chain how many times I said we would be able to do this. And, I know. And then even today, we had a set schedule for 1 p.m. and sure enough, I get 4 emergency patients that come in, and I gotta do that. I gotta pay the bills.
Yeah,
so,
it's hilarious because I always call you. What's my nickname for you when it comes to podcasting? Do you remember the nickname?
You call me Podcast Gold.
Podcast Gold. People love when you're on the podcast, and I go. And I'm like, dude, I've taken it to the next level. I'm putting them on YouTube now. I'm doing it via Zoom. I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And it's just,
you've come light years since the days of us sitting at the Yoo-hoo room in Flappers, passing the phone back and forth.
Dude, the original one with the phone back and forth.
But no, but they were good to us at Flappers. They were really
very good.
We would be there till 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm like literally with the phone, and then I got the equipment, and then we finally did it that way. And then I was able to take it mobile and go to your apartment, or I'd go to on location. I would record them in cars with people, and then and then when I did it with the cameras, it's cool. Now I'm going to get you on camera, but we're in a situation where
absolutely.
We'll have to plan it to where I know we're both going to be in front of our cameras, but that's the thing. If we wait till then, it's never going to happen. So I'm like, let's just do it. Let's just do a call in.
Correct. But Carmen, my girlfriend, has always said anytime you want to come up, meaning me, to her house where she's got Zoom and she's got the cameras, she has it all set up. So I did one last week for comedian Patrick Ramirez, and it came out really crystal clear. So I just told her, I said, no, Darren's cool with this tonight, and the next one I'll shoot up to your house and we'll do it, visually. So all that good stuff. Or I'll go out to Staples or wherever, Best Buy, and pick up a Logitech camera.
Yes.
And download. Yeah, I'm. You know me, Darren. I'm a 56-year-old man who's I'm still using a Texas Instrument calculator. So, seriously.
Yeah, man. It's just like, it's one of those things where, you're a golden voice. You got these stories, and I'm like, I'm not saying that you're holding yourself back, but I'm like, dude, just plop down the $500 and get the equipment or whatever it is, however much it costs. I mean,
I don't even think it's $500. Logitech mic is what, $17?
Yeah, exactly. You get a, whatever.
No, it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm very bad at that.
Okay,
I admit it. Hey, look, I'm the only doctor I know that doesn't take Venmo. So,
exactly. Oh, you don't take Venmo? I take Venmo, guys. And
I don't even take Venmo.
Speaking of Venmo, it's at Darren Carter Comic. Look me up. Send me a little something, and we'll get this guy a microphone.
Yeah, send this guy something. He's busting his butt for you guys. Seriously.
I know.
Seriously. $1, $2, $5, man, for this quality. And your guests, by the way, are getting better and better and better. When I say better and better, I don't mean quality of comedy. I mean you're getting higher end comics that are really kicking butt in the business. You're getting celebrities.
I know, it's pretty cool. They're coming to me now. It's like in the last 2 months, I'm starting to get people like, I got the behind the scenes lineup. You guys are going to be really impressed. But it's so funny. I'm like, I must be doing something right. But the other day I was on the phone. It's been 3 months. I don't know. Whenever that Mike Tyson announced that he's going to be on a fight. And he's going to fight Roy Jones Jr. And we're talking about Mike Tyson. And just in passing, because I knew you lived in New York, and I knew you'd met him before, but you were just saying how one time Mike Tyson accidentally patted you on the back and how it felt like a tiger paw. And I'm like, what? Yeah. So tell us the story about how all that happened. How did you meet Mike Tyson? Where do you know him?
Mike is probably 3 times stronger than most people think he is. He's an animal. Okay, and Mike was my neighbor in New York in 1988. I was a male stripper, which we've gotten into many times on your other podcast. So your guests will have to go back to the archives. And but Mike was living. He was going to kill Robin Givens and her mother one night in Bernardsville, New Jersey, the mansion that he had. And Don King got called by the police that came to the house in Jersey, to the mansion. They got a phone call saying there's a guy there's a lunatic who's going nuts and threatening to kill these 2 ladies in the house. And it turns out it was Mike Tyson. And this is when he was off the rails back in 1988. And so Don King had dollar signs in his head going, oh shit, if this guy goes to prison for murder for 40 years, I'm done. The purses are over, the money. So he grabbed him immediately and he moved him into my building, the building I was living in, and which was 92nd Street and York Avenue, which is a very high upscale neighborhood in the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And so they moved him in. And I would come home. I was stripping at the time. I'd come home on a Wednesday or Thursday night during the week at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. At around the same time he was coming home partying, and he would always say to me, we would always, hey, how you doing, man? How's everything? And it was just very short for a while. But then he started seeing me all the time, so we became friendlier to each other. And so he would say to me, he'd go, hey man, I got to ask you a question. It's 4 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday night. Everybody in this building is a doctor, a lawyer, or a CPA. Like, what is it you do? And I told him I was a stripper. And he was like, wait a second, you got women putting money down your pants? And I was like, yeah, Mike, you're the heavyweight champ of the world. What are you jealous of or envious? He just found it amazing that women would actually put money down my pants, and he loved it. So I would sit on the couch with him. I would sit with him on the couch at like 4:15 in the morning on a Wednesday night when we both got home. And I guess he just wanted to sit on the couch and just unwind from the loud music and the craziness that he had just experienced at the clubs in Manhattan. So he would just shoot the breeze at me. The doorman would be about 20 feet away from, at the door. And we would just talk and about life. You got to remember, he's like all of 21 at the time, 22. And, about 22 years old at the time. I'm 25, I think. I think I got 3 years on him. And so, we're two guys in our 20s, man. He's just he's just basically a child, except he's this, the baddest man on the planet guy at that time, and still probably up there in some way, shape, or form. So we start to become friendly, and we start to see each other on a more current basis. He'd see me in the street. He'd be feeding the pigeons. I would come very big into pigeons, and he would feed the pigeons, and I'd walk around the pigeons. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, man, how you doing? How's everything? And we'd start to talk and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be, hey, Mac, I'm going upstairs. I'll catch up with you later. And and that was it. And it became that way. And every once in a while, I'd run into him at a club in New York. I'll tell you a funny story, man. I'm at a club in New York. It was called Columbus. And it was a very mafia-owned club. And John Gotti and everybody would be there. Billy Joel, Kiss would be at a table. Christopher Walken would be at that table. De Niro would be at that table. It was all heavy hitters. Alec Baldwin, everybody was at this club. And one night, Tyson's there with a lot of thugs, a lot of his thugs from Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. And I walk over to the table. There's like 8 guys around the circular table. And I walk over to the table, and immediately these thugs all got up like to get off their chair, like, who is this guy? Okay. And I get off and Mike goes, oh, I know this guy. I know this guy's my neighbor. And
women put dollars down his pants.
Right. And so all of a sudden I was validated by Mike at the table that, and these guys all like sat down because they didn't know who I was. I could have pulled a gun out. They had no clue. So it was just very comical. And I would sit with him for 20 seconds, 30 seconds and go, hey, man, I'll see you at the house, that kind of thing. Because odds were that we were going to get home at around the same time. So that was a funny time. I remember that when these big monsters got off the table at the same time. It was about 6 of them. And they didn't know who I was. And it was just very funny how he grabbed that, the one that was next to him. He goes, no, I know this guy, my neighbor. And but yeah, those were fun. But then the great story where Mike actually hit me was, but in a nice way, in a comical way. Okay, so he had just knocked out Michael Spinks, like in a minute. I think it was 1 minute and 52 seconds in the first round. That was over. Knocked him through the ropes, and $32 million purse he got. So I'm downstairs in the basement to cut through the building as a shortcut to get to the taxi stand / bus stop stand. And so I see Mike in there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to grab a ride with him. Because I sat in his car a few times when he saw me freezing my ass off. He would honk at me and go, hey, come in the car, sit in the car. Don't freeze. Very nice guy, by the way, Dad.
Yeah.
And he goes, don't freeze, come in the car. And I would wait for the bus while he was, sitting in the car waiting for his friends to come downstairs. So that night, I go cut through to save myself the freezing walk around the building to get to where I want to go. And by going through the parking lot, it saves me about 300 feet of walking. So I go into there and I see Mike and 2 of his buddies from Bedford-Stuyvesant that were in the ring the night that he lost to Buster Douglas. Those 2 guys that were his cornermen. And I recognized them immediately. And they're wearing these beautiful suits and ties, and they're wearing all 3 have Rolexes. And I said to him, "Hey man, I want to congratulate you. I haven't seen you since the fight. I want to congratulate you." Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I knew he didn't have a chance. Yeah, I didn't. Just the way he looked, when we were looking at each other with the ref, he goes, I knew this was going to go quick. And so I said, congratulations on the purse. And that was like his biggest money payday at that point. It was $32 million. And I said, congratulations. I said, you guys look unbelievable, Mike. You already went to get the 3 nice suits and ties. He goes, yeah, taking care of my friends and everything, got to give it back a bit, And they were super cool. And everybody was cool. And downstairs, it was just the 4 of us. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, I want to grab a ride. I want to get a ride because I know they're going somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was like 8 o'clock. Yeah, it was like 8 o'clock at night. It was a perfect time that I knew these guys were doing something. So, and I was going to a Chippendales party.
Can I tell I want to interrupt real quick. I just want to tell the listeners.
Please.
Dean is the kind of guy where most of us would be like, I probably shouldn't do, there might be a boundary there. Dean's like, yeah. There's no boundary there. Can I get a ride? Hey, Mr. President, you're on Air Force One. I just happen to be flying that way. Is there a chance I could?
Right. Can I grab a lift?
Yeah. So this is hilarious to me. And you have so many of these stories where I'm like, I mean, we could jump all over the place. Like he sees Jay Leno, hey Jay Leno, and you guys exchange number. I mean, it goes on and on.
I've always sat in Jay's cars, and when he's in the supermarket at Whole Foods, he's always showing me the new. Yeah,
Dean has a way where, where most people might, like I said, they might be like, I don't know. He'll flat out like within a minute, he'll be like, I go, dude, you have this ability, and I don't know. It's just the thing, and you get information out of people, you get connections with people. It's like,
I think
it's hilarious.
It's because I'm non-threatening. I have a non-threatening face. And I think that's one of the things that does it. And not only that, people go, I know this guy, man. He's friends with so-and-so, so-and-so.
Yeah.
So,
So back to the store of the, so you're thinking to yourself, maybe I can hop in the car.
I'm congratulating him. Yeah. He's a very humble guy and very cool, but he's, still a child. And he's like, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And he's telling these guys, he goes, this guy's my neighbor, man. You should see what he does for a living, man. He's got these women putting money down his pants. It's this crazy-ass motherfucker, this guy. And this is what he's saying. Excuse the French, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, Mikey, where are you guys going, man? Because I'm thinking immediately I'll save a cab fare of $7, $8 back then. So, and that was a lot of money to me back then. Even though I was doing well, I mean, $7 is $7, man. It's 1988. So,
and you didn't have to shake your moneymaker.
I didn't have to shake my crotch. No. So one thing leads to another. I go, where you guys going, man? You guys are dressed to the nines. And he says to me, he goes, oh man, what's the name of this place, man? He looks at his buddy and both the guys don't even know. And they go, and he goes, I don't know the name, man, but I know it's on 57th Street. Now, here's the kicker. I worked on 57th Street as a waiter in the mornings. I did a lunch shift on 57th and 6th at a restaurant called O'Neill's. And they're all heavy-duty celebrity hangout for lunch. It was that kind of a place. Very cool place. And right across the street on 57th Street was a nightclub that only opened at like 11:30 at night. And it was an all-black nightclub. You wouldn't see a white person there. Trust me, you wouldn't see a white person there. And I used to work every once in a while. A guy would call out for the dinner shift, and I would take the dinner shift. So I saw, when the place opened at 11 o'clock at night, what the crowd was. And it was pretty wild. It was wild. So I said to him, 57th Street? And he goes, yeah, 57th, and I think 6th Avenue. And I said, my. Now, the name of the club, Darren, was the Silver Shadow.
Silver Shadow.
Silver Shadow. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Because I thought I was going to lose my life. The name of the club is the Silver Shadow. So I said to him, I looked at all three of them, and I just Freudian slipped. I don't know if you know what a Freudian slip was. I just, my subconscious took over. And it's called a Freudian slip. And I went, you're going to the Black Shadow. And Darren, all of a sudden, I see the gold tooth that he had in the front of his mouth. And I see the tooth, and I went, oh, shit. I wish I could get those words back, man, because you're
thinking Silver Shadow, but you're thinking it's a black nightclub, but then you called it.
Right.
You're going to the Black Shadow, and you're down there in this parking garage with these three big...
And 4 years before that was a movie called 48 Hours, where Eddie Murphy walks into a bar and goes, "I'll have a white shadow," and a white Russian, and the bartender goes, "Don't you mean a black Russian?" That kind of thing. And it was that kind. Do you remember that scene?
Yes.
In 48 Hours.
Yep.
Okay. This was only 3 years later, and I got to tell you, when I saw those words leaving my mouth, you could have animated it. That in this day and age with the high tech abilities for editing, you could have taken an arc of me pulling back those words into my mouth, okay? Because I went, oh, fuck, he's going to think, excuse my French, he's going to think that I'm being a racist. And I go, and all of a sudden I see the gold tooth, and I'm going, oh, shit. And all of a sudden he starts cracking up, going, oh, man, that's fucking funny, man. He goes, now I remember, it's called the silver shadow. But this motherfucker called it the black shadow. He's just laughing to his friend.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Okay? And as he's laughing, he takes his, I'll never forget, he hit me on the left side. He takes his right hand and hits me on my shoulder, the meaty part of your shoulder. And I'm not kidding. In a love-friendly tap that I made him laugh out loud, he sent me, not joking, 3.5 to 4 feet over to my right. Okay? Just to tap.
Just giggling and like tapping like
yeah, just joking around with somebody, man, and just going, oh, fuck, man, you got me laughing my ass off, man. Then he looked at his friend, he goes, this motherfucker thinks it's a black shadow because it's a black club. And it was hysterical, man. He just gave me a hit, and I go, Mike, easy, big fella, easy, man. And he grabbed me, he touched my shoulder. He goes, oh man, I'm sorry, man, because he just had me laughing, man. And he's the best, man. And he didn't give me a ride that night because he said we still got 3 more people coming down that are showering from upstairs in his apartment. And so I said, oh, no, I got to get going. I got to go to a party at Chippendales. But that was it. I've run into him numerous times since. And he always remembers, man. I was with Michael Rappaport at the Undisputed Truth and at the Pantages Theater. That was his one-man show. That's about 4 years ago. And I happened to run into Michael Rappaport, who I used to drive home from gigs when he didn't have a dime. And so Michael ran into me at the end, and he goes, what you doing? You're not leaving the theater? I said, well, Spike Lee told me he would bring Mike Tyson over to see me, because I told Spike that I knew Mike from the old days. And he believed me. Spike Lee believed me. And he brought him over, and Mike came over, and it was very funny. He came over. Remember, this is like 27 years later. And he came over, and he goes, oh, my God, man. He goes, I remember you, man. You're the guy you lived in the Barclay. And I said, yeah, we were neighbors. We used to shoot the shit all the time. He goes, and I'll never forget this. He goes like this, and he goes, are you still stripping? And
That's hilarious.
I go, Mike, that was like 25, 27 years ago. And he goes, man, you look good, man. He goes, I don't know. I was like 52, and 51. And I said, Mike, I'm 51 years old, man. And I said, he goes, you look good. You look in shape, man. And he goes, that's a compliment, man. And that was it. We just spoke about the show.
That's great.
Real briefly. And then he looked at Michael Rappaport, and he goes, hey, crazy motherfucker, how you doing? They know each other from the, his radio stuff and all that. And he just breaking his chops and all. And that was it. We said hi and shot the shit. And then, he said, look, I got to go into this VIP room and sign these autographs and these pictures. These people paid $300 to meet me after. And I said, oh, Mike, take care, man. I'll catch you on the flip whenever we see each other. But he was totally cool. And, but the fact that he remembered the stripping was absolutely ridiculous. So
that's great.
Hopefully I'm going to get to, I know. Hopefully I'm going to get to see him soon, because a friend of ours, you and I, that I won't say his name right now, but he's producing a show right now with a pilot with Sugar Ray Leonard, and it's supposed to be like the Biggest Loser kind of show. It's a different takeoff on that. And so he said that Mike Tyson has agreed he'll come and do guest appearances and how to, whip people into shape and all that stuff. And I said, listen, you know that when Mike is on the soundstage, you know who you're calling. He goes, I know, you know him from New York. I'll have you come out and say hi. And I also had, I used to sort of keep an eye on Sugar Ray Leonard's kids when I went to university in Maryland. At the restaurant I would wait tables at, he would bring his kids, and he would, for kidnapping purposes, he would ask me just to keep an eye on them when they went to the bathroom and everything. So, Sugar remembers, it's a long story. It's a long story, but Sugar.
We have
Sugar
so many
remembers.
stories. Hold on, before we get to that, because I wanted this to be like reintroduce yourself to my audience, and so I tweeted out, I put it out there. I said, any questions for Dr. Dean, and they came in all the questions. So before we get to those questions and wrap it up, I got to ask you a question. You said something, because I know you get all the medical journals. You're really up on what's happening, and you're really guys. Listen, this guy is 56 years old. I don't know. Is that how old you are?
56.
56 and a half, and he's got a 6-pack. He takes care of himself.
And I don't do any ab work.
Right. And he just you did like the leg lifts thing. I think you told me about the leg lifts.
Yeah, I do that. That's right. I do that one thing. I take a 5-pound weight in between my 2 feet, and I sit on a chair and curl it up to curl my knees up. That's it. That's all I do for my stomach.
Okay, here's what I was going to ask you. Brazil nuts. What are your thoughts on Brazil nuts?
Oh, Brazil nuts are amazing, man. The studies on Brazil nuts, they drop within 30 days. Within 30 days, they will drop your cholesterol, your bad cholesterol. They'll drop it. I think it was like 65%. It'll change. It's ridiculous. Brazil nuts have a chemical in there that basically scrubs fat and cholesterol plaque. So it's
real quick. You told me about that, and I remember. We even did a video. Check it out. It's on YouTube, guys. Go to YouTube. Look up Dean, Darren, and Six-Pack.
You got into that.
It's in there. And you were telling me what was crazy to me is I want to say, now you're the doctor. I'm just the guy that listens. You told me, I believe, you said it was only like 4 a month. Right? Am I right about that?
That's right. That's what they did the study on. They did a study that you only needed 4. That's right. Thanks for bringing that up. Because it was 4 a month that you needed, or you could do 4 in one serving. Just literally, which is nothing. I mean, I could eat 35 of them, and they're amazing. And anyone who hasn't had.
Supposedly, somebody told me that it also boosts your immunity to fight off COVID. They said Brazilian nuts. I don't know if you knew about that.
Oh, is that what this? Is that what they're saying now?
Yeah.
No, that's brand new to me. What you're telling me now is something that I was not privy to. I did not know that.
And then I think we Googled it last night because I was like, wow, that's interesting. And it said you can. Is it called I don't know if it's called serotonin or it's like a word that starts with an S, I think. And then
serotonin.
Is that what it was? It said, but you can also get it from Brazil nuts. You can get it from eggs. You can get it from fish. You can get it, blah blah blah. But Brazil nuts was a thing. So.
The only problem I'm having with Brazil nuts, the only problem that I'm having is it's brutal to try and find organic. That's the only problem. And so that one of the things that upsets me when it's not organic is that, in theory, those things might have been grown or cultivated with pesticides. So if you're going to do it and the listener's going to do it, put them in some water, water, salt, sea salt, and throw a little baking soda in there and have them sit there for 5-10 minutes so that you start to get rid of the as much pesticide as possible.
Interesting. Okay.
This was a quick one, man. This was a quick podcast. Wow.
I know I have all these questions. Do I go silly? Do I go with the questions, the order they come in, or do we go with more let's go with the silly. Let's just go with the order it comes in. You can
please.
Here's what we could do. You could choose to answer, you could pass, or you could say next podcast. Okay.
Do I seem like the kind of guy that passes?
Well, I'm just saying you could. Okay, here we go. So answer, pass, or next podcast. Here we go.
Go ahead.
And remember, these are all over the map. Some of them are silly and some are serious.
Go ahead.
Has he ever hooked up with a neighbor or sibling?
Have I ever hooked up with a neighbor? Have I had sex with a neighbor? You know something? I fooled around, but if you have to go definition of hooking up, meaning having sex, the answer would be I don't think I did. No, but I definitely fooled around. I just don't think I made it. I don't think I made the cut to get to the next level.
Plus, it could be weird because you guys know where each other live, and that could be a strange,
Oh, I think let me tell you something. I think when you start messing around in your apartment building or your building or your work, no, I don't forget about workplace. That's taboo, of course. But because you don't know, like if next thing you know, you look outside your peephole and you see an eyeball.
I know.
You see an eyeball looking in.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Next question, because we can get more in depth on this on a future episode. Okay.
Yeah.
When he fantasizes, does he only think about himself? That must be either a hater or a jealous woman. I don't know who wrote that.
Wow. Why would that person say that?
I don't know. Maybe they saw the six-pack video.
Actually, myself.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You know what it is? Don't you think it's great to have a six-pack? But here's the bad part. If there was to be a downside of a six-pack, is you're going to want to have to show it, right? Like if I had a six-pack,
Right.
I'd be finding excuses to show my abs. I know I would.
Right. Like like it's a hot day. It's time to put my shirt near my forehead for a second and wipe the sweat off.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's wearing ski coats, and I'm out there with no shirt on.
Who's the one who said, who do I fantasize about?
These are like random. See, some of these are anonymous with a Twitter egg where I don't know who they are.
Okay.
See, now this is obviously a listener because they know that you used to gamble. They said, "What's the most money he has ever made a bet?"
I know for a fact that I lost 800. This is a funny story, actually. I'm up. It was TCU against TCU College. I can't remember who they played, but TCU is up 31-0 at halftime, and I'm laying 3 points. I'm laying 3 points, and you there, Dad?
I'm here. I put it on mute so it sounds better. Yeah.
I'm laying 3 points on. I got TCU and it's 31-0, which means it's 31-3, and I've got $800 on the game. Okay, $800, and it's halftime. So I go to Whole Foods thinking, this is a lock. I can't lose. And I go to Whole Foods, and I come back just in time as they're kicking off for the third quarter and this and that. And sure enough, I lose 45-37. The team comes back and puts up 45 points in the second half.
Oh my gosh!
And I lose $800. I think that's the most I lost on a bet. But the most I've lost in a month. Oh my God!
No, I think they said what's the most money he's ever made on a bet. Oh yeah, made. Oh, I thought they said
most money I've ever made. Most money I think I ever made. I think I did like $1,400 or $1,500 on a Super Bowl. The famous Super Bowl when Butler intercepted the Seahawks on the 1 yard line, and I hit it every. That's the day that Vegas lost $7 million. They lost all the casinos. They lost $7 million because every possible combination to lose and to win was achieved. So even if you had Seattle, you won. Even if you had the Patriots, you won. If you had the over and the under, you won. So they got beat all the way around, and they lost like $7 to $10 million at the gate.
Let's rapid fire these questions, okay? And I don't even know what this means. Does he always bet the money line? I don't know what that means.
No, I don't do that. Nah, if I'm going to lay the points, I lay the points. But I don't gamble anymore. Do these people know? Listen. I just want to get the record straight. I spend the whole day fantasizing about myself. I don't gamble anymore.
What about this?
I can't believe that person said that.
What does this mean?
Right, go ahead.
Is this a joke or is this a real thing? It says, who does he have for the Super Bowl? I don't think there's any NFL right now.
Let me tell you something. Keep your eye on Aaron Rodgers. Keep your eye on Aaron Rodgers because he's playing under a coach right now that he's 17-3 with. I have been telling people for the last 12 to 15 years that if Aaron Rodgers played for the Patriots and was coached by Bill Belichick, Aaron Rodgers would have more rings than Tom Brady, Super Bowl rings. Aaron Rodgers is a more talented, multifaceted quarterback than Brady is. He has more skills.
So this is good.
Okay?
You're bringing something to the podcast. I have no knowledge on this stuff. So this is for those listeners that love
skills. I did not say he has more records. I said that if he was under Belichick, he would have more records. But he played under Mike McCarthy. Now, I told people, watch what happens when Mike McCarthy starts to coach Dallas. And now Dallas is 1-4 or 1-3, I think.
Next question. Does he like the Jets?
It's hard to like the Jets. I grew up liking the Jets. I grew up knowing Mark Gastineau because my brother lived with the general manager roommated with the general manager for the Jets. So Gastineau would be at the house. But this is 1984, 85.
Next question. Next question.
Yes, the answer is it's tough to like the Jets because they don't spend the money to make the team better. Go ahead.
Now it looks like we're going to a couple of coronavirus type questions. What kind of mask does he wear?
In the office, I only wear a shield. I don't wear a mask. I wear a shield because I couldn't breathe. It got to the point
that's
that
great.
I wasn't able
that's hilarious. So you don't use a cloth covering. You only use the shield?
Only wear a shield, man.
Oh, my God. I got to tell you something real quick. I got to tell you, I have a friend. You're not going to believe this. They wear the shield. They don't do the cloth. Make the same thing. They're having trouble breathing. They only wear the shield. Do you know that they were in a drive-through at a Coffee Bean with a shield, and when the girl came up to give her the coffee, she's like, "Oh my God!" She was so scared. She goes, "You have to cover. You have to cover. You have to."
Right.
And then she's like, "But I have a shield." And she's like, "No." And then she got the manager. The manager was like, "Oh, sorry, but our policy, you have to wear you can do it this one time, but in the future, you have to have a." She was freaked out like she saw a ghost.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. They have brainwashed us so far. And I know we're going to get some backdraft on that from some of your people, but the shield is just as good. And look, let's be honest, man. From what we know about this, it's either excretions from your nose, excretions from your mouth that make you a carrier, a giver. So let me ask you a question. If I spit, doesn't it hit the shield? If my nose blows or I sneeze, what does it hit? It hits the shield. So come on, people, wake up.
Exactly.
Believe me, I had a problem with the shield too one night. I walked into, was it Ralph's? I can't remember. I'll get it. But
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I bumped something. You walked into Ralph's and something happened. What happened?
I think it was Ralph's, and they said, can you please go, put a mask on? I said, the shield isn't good enough? They said, no, the shield doesn't qualify. I go, and then I explained to them, don't you understand? The problem is most people don't really understand. You know what I've been doing, Darren? I've been muscle testing people with the mask on and with the mask off.
What does that mean, muscle testing people?
I'll have a guy or a girl raise their arm up in the air, and then I'll push it down when they have nothing.
That's funny. I saw that online with somebody. You should film that.
Yeah.
Is that true? Does that work?
Yeah. Dr. Ken G has demonstrated that. He's the first guy I saw do it, and I started doing it in my office.
I actually know him. I know him. Do you know him too, or you just know him from online?
Yeah. We worked that night together at HaHa.
That's
Remember
right.
His wife?
Cool.
Yeah, that's how I know him. So one thing leads to another, and I started doing it to people, and people are blown away. They can't believe it. I said to them, let me just put it to you this way.
Tell the audience what we're talking about. Tell the audience what we're talking about.
We're talking about the difference between a mask and a shield.
So you lay down and you tell them how to demonstrate this. They could try it in their own home.
You can lay down, you can stand up, doesn't matter. But I have them put the arm out to the side, and I push down. I put my hand at the elbow and I push down. Most human beings are able to fight pretty hard because the deltoid is pretty strong. So I push down and they fight pretty strong. Then I put the mask on, and as soon as I touch them with the same pressure, I could even change the arm. Okay, since in case people are thinking I fatigued it, the original arm, I can change the arm or go back to the original arm. They all what do you call it? They all go weak. They all drop. everything drops. So they can't fight it. So I say to them all the time, listen, if I'm depressing your musculoskeletal system, what do you think I'm doing to your immune system?
Wow.
Okay? Your body, your brain has a natural desire to breathe oxygen. Okay? It has a natural desire to do so. Hey, look, I'm not saying the mask doesn't work. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Okay? I'm saying the mask inhibits certain biomechanical, biophysiological aspects of your body, what your body really wants. Okay, and I noticed it, and I was like, let me get a shield. I can breathe with a shield, and I still get the same effect. I'm still keeping myself shielded from anything that you spit at me and anything that you sneeze at me. I'm shielded. So, that's my whole theory with this, so.
I love it. We got to wrap up. I really want to.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on. This is great. I got so many more questions I want to get to. Let's just do one more question. We'll do one more question.
Go ahead,
are there any more, excuse me, are there more people with back issues since the increase of work from home and people don't have ergonomic setup?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I'll tell you right now, I don't think I've ever been busier than what do you call it, than during pandemic, because it is, what's happening is people are working from home now, and they're sitting on the couch, and they got their feet up on the coffee table, and the laptop is at their pelvis, and they're just, sitting, they got their head up against the pillow, and they're just chilling and watching TV at the same time as they're working. So that's really what's going on, and they're messing up their necks and low backs and everything. I'm seeing everything now, and the big one is the upper back and neck is the big one right now.
Yeah, you know what we're doing is whenever I have to do a lot of laptop work, I put my laptop on a big stack of books, so it's more like at eye level, so it's easier.
Right,
so your neck isn't like cranking.
That's what I did with my monitor. I raised my monitor because my neck was killing me from playing piano, and I was like, I got to fix this, and sure enough, I raised the monitor.
Dude, when you said piano, it triggers more questions and more conversation. Guys, how great is Dr. Dean? How great is Dr. Dean?
Well, obviously, one of them thinks I fantasize about myself. That's terrible. As Charles Barkley would say, that's just terrible.
That's terrible, man. You fantasize about himself.
Terrible.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you go. I'm going to go to Runyon Canyon, and then I got to come back to the office for a couple of late nights. Okay, we'll do this soon, and sooner than later. Please don't wait another 7 months, okay? I know. Yes, you got my word. We'll do it.
And then let's get it going on camera so we can do the on-camera thing.
Absolutely. That'll be taken care of.
Okay, buddy. You're the best. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Bye.
Take care all.
You got it. Bye-bye.
We're done with this interview.
How great was that, Dr. Dean? Man, what a fun guy. A lot of crazy stories. So many questions I didn't even get to. That was hilarious. I think you guys would have dug those questions. Hilarious questions. Okay, listen. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast, for checking out the Pocket Party podcast. Like I said, DarrenCarter.com. If you want to hit that donate button, that's PayPal. If you're into the Venmo, throw a little something on Venmo, at Darren Carter Comic on Venmo. Tips are appreciated. Keeps the lights on, keeps the thing going, and it lets me know you care. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you soon. All right, don't hurt nobody. Be careful. And we still celebrating Christmas.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party. Go that way.